welcome to Legacy K, watching some Legacy Monday night action that we recorded this week with our good friend Thunder on the left playing Eldrazi Post, or BigEldrazi with a bunch of Cloud Posts in it, and our friend JaeCheol on the right playing Dragon Stompy. He actually plays a lot of decks, but tonight he showed up with a bunch of Blood Moons, a bunch of Chandra, Torch of Defiance, maybe some Magus of the Moon, and various things, fast mana and Simian Spirit Guides and stuff. Thunder leads off with Ancient Tomb Go and Mountain Go. I wish that these Stompy decks had starts like this against me. So I see in Thunder's hand we've got a Warping Whale on the far left. So Vesuva targeting Ancient Tomb Go. Here we go. There's 3 mana. And a turn 2 Magus of the Moon. This seems like one of the more important cards. Can you Warping Whale that? You float 2 colorless, let it resolve, and Warping Whale? Oh no, it only kills X ones. So he's gonna... Oh, he's making a Scion to have access to colorless mana next turn. Okay, so you got some mountains. So he's got red, and a Scion. I guess if you play a land drop this turn, you can access 4 mana. Okay. Thran Dynamo. So there's all of his colorless sources. I thought that Blood Moon effects were going to be really helpful in this matchup, but this guy's just going to be a slight hindrance and a 2/2. And he doesn't have a follow-up, so... Yep. He's counting up that mana. Mountain. 3, 6. He's got an Oblivion Sower target you, and he finds... Oh, he found so many lands that it prompts an immediate concession. For a second there, it looked like our red Stompy player didn't want to reveal any more information, but I think in actuality he just saw that Sower was going to rip so much mana, and his board was just so bad that he went ahead and scooped him up pretty fast. So out of the board, I see the outlines of Sudden Shock. Doesn't seem too great. I wonder if he has any way of dealing with artifacts. I mean, he's in pure red. He could possibly have a bunch of destroy artifact effects, which honestly I think is worthwhile here, because without the artifacts helping you overcome a Blood Moon, I don't see how you really deal with that. And the late game of the deck is really reliant on getting up to 10 mana, because you can really expect Ulamog, possibly new Emrakul, probably not, that card seems a little weak, and Kozilek and Ugin. So if you can keep them from getting up to that amount of mana, that's game plan 1, right? But from what we just saw there, Thran Dynamo allowed the Eldrazi Post player to just continue rolling. He didn't actually care that he had 4 mountains in play. And that's the problem here, because these decks play 25 to 28 lands. They're always going to make their land drops, and if you're not wasting them, if you're just giving them mountains instead, all it does is slow them down. I mean, a deck operating at 50% speed that's racing towards Ugin that you don't have an answer to is still too fast. And Thunder appears to be bringing in a lot of cards. I'm assuming that these are Warping Whale additional copies and probably Spatial Contortion. Because, like I made the mistake just now, you cannot Warping Whale a Magus of the Moon, but you can definitely Spatial Contort almost every creature that the red player is going to have. That's going to hit Magus, Simian Spirit Guide if it ever gets cast, Goblin Rabble Master, and that. Why can I not remember the name of the new devil guy who flips cards off the top? That card is busted, by the way. So red player is going to be on the play. He's probably going to look for a hand that relies on ways to stop really big monsters, which I think his out is Ensnaring Bridge. There's no other way for him to kill an Eldrazi when it enters play, so you sort of just have to keep them from attacking. And I think you have to clock the Eldrazi player sufficiently before he gets to 10 mana and starts landing completely unreasonable threats. I don't know. The red deck just doesn't have any way to fight on the stack, and some of the Eldrazi's are even they don't really care about counter magic because like you can Ulamog exile stuff without the card ever even resolving. So it appears that we've kept 7, both players nodding, and he really needs a fast hand here. Oh, okay. Yeah, 3 mana and a turn 1. See, there's the guy. What is that? I don't know. Upon upkeep, before draw step, you reveal the top card of your library, and then your opponent chooses to let you draw it or put it in your graveyard and take converted casting costs worth of damage. I believe that that's correct. I cannot look it up because I don't remember the name of the card. 1/2 monolith spatial Kentaurir dude. And that is a perfect, clean answer to that card. And there's a turn 2 Chandra. So these Stompy decks, we just started on both sides with City of Trader openers, which is a little awkward, and that's the price that you pay for playing this Stompy deck, I guess. Two mana, sack the tomb, make another 2 mana, take 2 damage, cast a Thought-Knot Seer, and reveal 2 Ensnaring Bridge. JaeCheol does not actually have the mana to cast an Ensnaring Bridge. Never mind. Of course he had mana to cast an Ensnaring Bridge. Reveal a mountain, do 2 damage. And I mean, he's firmly in control now because there's very little that the post player can do, even continuing to rip land drops, but he's going to die to this Chandra unless he finds a Pithing Needle, really. Plus Chandra, show a 3-ball. And Trinisphere is not great here, but you're just going to cast it, because why not? I think it does not affect Thunder whatsoever, but you know, cast your spells, keep your hand clean, and see if we can continue making land drops maybe and find a way to exile the Chandra and the bridge. It's still doable because the Chandra isn't that fast of a clock. I mean, what does her ultimate do? Looks like +1 is exile a card, +1, number 2 is add 2R to your mana pool, destroy a creature, and then an emblem that says whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so the -7 is actually quite good. So even if she's off the table, yep, he cashes her in. So do 5 to you for casting a spell, And yeah, actually, this is a great insurance policy because this means that even if Thunder had found a way to deal with the Chandra, he is definitely going to die to any spell. So all you have to do is avoid ripping 4 mountains in a row and you win this game probably, right? So let's see. So Thunder has access to gain 3 life here. The posts now, the cloud posts now generate 3 mana each. He's got a tomb for 2, 5, 8. Is that 9 mana even without the monolith? There's an Allah's Dust for 7. Okay, yeah. Clear your Simian Spirit Guide. You still cannot attack. He untaps, casts a spell, hits you for 5 with a... That's an insult to injury. So he puts him really low here, and all he has to do is resolve 2 more spells. So what happens when a Vesuva enters play? It enters play. It does copy something, right? You have to because that's on the card. Like it enters play as a tapped mountain. Didn't find anything there. So Thunder gets to live another turn, gets access to the monolith again. Now, did he rip an Ulamog? That's a spell. Puts you down to 2, and then he'll probably... So Thunder now can't let his opponent draw the card, but he also can't take the damage. So now the red player draws 2 cards and he's going to kill you for sure. Thunder's going to cast Wormcoil Engine. If that was a turn earlier, some awkward sequencing here. Like, he wants the monolith first, that's fine, but it's not going to matter. So you get a Wormcoil Engine online, and if he gets to attack, that's great. But there's a bridge out. I mean, that thing is not going to do anything. It's too late. Shock you. Okay. So the Ensnaring Bridge won that game. It looks like, I mean, the Chandra actually put it away, but the Ensnaring Bridge let him get to that point. I don't think I saw anything from Thunder's side that could deal with this trinity of make your lands mountains, make you unable to attack, and then stick a Chandra. I've only seen a couple of these games, but knowing how the Stompy decks operate, it's never just one lock piece that wins the game. It's never just the clock that wins the game. It's always this prison deck aspect of, first I'm going to keep you from casting these things for just long enough, and then I'm going to kill you with a clock that, I don't know, the red Stompy deck presents a very good one. But Chandra is not super fast, and it dies to all the creatures, provided you don't have a bridge, so I really wonder what Thunder's strategy is going to be here to keep JaeCheol off of Ensnaring Bridge, which really messed him up that game. Can we get this Scion out of here and this Chilsung Cider, man? So our battlefield's just full of extra crud. So the post player is back on the play, and I feel like all of the traditional lock pieces that he likes are probably completely out in this matchup. He's not going to play Chalice. He's not going to play... Actually, does he even play Chalice? I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't, but it's possible that that card is sort of extraneous, and I haven't seen evidence of there being any. I haven't read the source thread, but this BigEldrazi list is, I think it's in the developmental decks portion, right? Did it make it to establish yet? No, it's in new and developmental. So some of the changes that it looks like this deck is going through is people are undecided about whether Matter Reshaper is good. People are sort of unsure about how many main deck artifacts they should run, and whether those should be chalices, and whether they should use the Trinispheres. Thunder starts out on a turn 1 Monolith go, and it looks like JaeCheol, did he just get another Simian Spirit Guide? This card seems so bad. The ramp helps, but yeah, okay, so exiling Simian Spirit Guide to Mox is the perfect way to use that card because it's just so bad. 3 mana, turn 1, Magus of the Moon, go. So Thunder is a little stunted here, back on just Mountain, but he already resolved a turn 1 Monolith, so he's got so much mana to work with. And I see Warping Whale on the side of his hand, and just like game 1 when I made that mistake, you cannot Warping Whale a Magus. So play a land, play Thran Dynamo, go. So now he's got access to all the colorless he could possibly need. Well, I guess he still has to untap his Monolith. So the Magus gets to work here. JaeCheol has access to 3 red, and he will use it on, I don't know, what should I call this guy? Red Dark Confidant? I wish I could remember the name of this card. So now Thunder, he probably had a way of killing the Magus, but now he has to decide whether to leave the Magus alone, because you got to kill the card advantage engine that's also going to burn you out. Even if you stonewalled the guy on the ground, like you play a 4/4, he's still just going to burn you out. He's still just going to bury you under cards. So Thunder plays a Pithing Needle, and I have to assume that that's on Chandra. And JaeCheol untaps, reveals, that is Fiery Confluence. Thunder probably can't let him draw that, so he's going to have to take 4. Is it 4 or 5? So yeah, I'll take 4 damage. And then you can go to your draw step. Fiery Confluence has a great number of modes, and it destroys artifacts too, so that's a perfect card to be coming in this matchup. Come on in. Takes another 5 damage. And he's getting dangerously low. So what is he searching for? He has to... Oh, in the bridge. Okay, so JaeCheol seems heavily favored here, but with this much mana, what are we racing towards? He's looking for all his dust, or a huge Eldrazi? I mean... Oh, I know this feel. The player with way too much mana is rearranging his stuff, he's counting a little bit, he's looking at his hand. If he had it, he would have cast it, right? He has counted up 3, 4, 7 mana. That seems like an all is dust. And then if the Magus disappears, there's all is dust. If the Magus disappears, now he has an eye and a post that only makes 1, and yeah, that's not enough mana left over to do much of anything. But he still can't attack. Oh, but he's got an Eye of Ugin, so no. I have to assume that you just hope that your life total is high enough to survive. Yeah, that's not a great threat. So Thunder is probably going to untap, look at a card, and I would assume pass the turn. Oh, he can't afford to untap his Monolith, right? Yeah. Untap, look at a card. He's got enough mana now to activate Eye of Ugin, right? Or does he have to wait a turn? Float 2 mana. Yeah, Thought Knot you. Go. So the interesting thing here is I'm not sure I agree with Thought Knotting there because first off, the red player has so much mana he could have cast anything interesting he had last turn, which I think means that his hand sucks. And then there was no reason to Thought Knot him there if you can't attack and you think that his hand is bad, because otherwise you could have just gotten ready to Eye of Ugin looking for Ulamog. Is it Ulamog that exiles the thing? Because that's how he's going to deal with an ensnaring bridge, right? So you just rip Kozilek off the top and draw a lot of cards, or you rip Ulamog and exile the ensnaring bridge and start attacking with Thought Knot Seer, or, and what I think is going to happen here is you wait until end step and then activate Eye of Ugin. So counts a bunch of mana. Yep. You go searching for a card. I don't actually know which one that is, but I think that's got to be the guy who exiles stuff upon cast. And JaeCheol now he's at 16, so that's a 2-turn clock. Yeah, because you'll just untap, cast the thing, exile a bridge, attack you for 4, and then the next turn he's dead, I think. Peel a card, probably an irrelevant card at this point. Count up a lot of mana. Two. Yeah, and then a bunch of cost reduction from Eldrazi Temple. He's got more than enough mana. That's insane. Yeah. Put this guy on the stack, target 2 permanents. I don't think it matters which. He's going to target a mountain, which is sad. I mean, and then he leaves him with a chump blocker. Attack you for 4, and he just takes it because he needs the chump for next turn. I'm unsure why you left the Simian Spirit Guide, because that gives him another turn of chumping. I mean, I don't think you can lose the game, but okay. Good game, Thunder. Nice job, man.